You've used these really strong terms, but is this a sign, though, that Democrats are getting very nervous that Donald Trump is doing a lot better in the polls?
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States. We're going to retake the Senate. You know, Manu, we've talked. All these polls are a joke. A joke. We know he can't be elected president. Republicans don't like him. I saw on TV last night they're going to the most Republican county in Ohio that's always gone Republican. It may not even go Republican this time.
These battleground states are tightening. He's winning in Ohio, winning in Florida. Your state in Nevada, he's ahead.
They're tightening because people like the ones you work for get these cheap polls that they can keep making news on. Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States. I have an obligation to tell everyone that will listen to me to make sure they understand that he is not a person of quality. He's a bully. He's an egomaniac. He was born into wealth. He was born into wealth. He's lived in those mansions his whole life. He does not have any concept of what it is to have to work for a living.
I mean, you've been going after him on the Senate floor, where there's supposed to be business done in the United States Senate. You did the same thing against. You did the same thing against Mitt Romney in 2012. Is it okay for the Senate Minority Leader to use the Senate floor to overtly campaign against a presidential candidate?
Well, listen, I have an obligation as the Democratic leader to point out things that are wrong, and I have an obligation to go after people that I think are wrong. Now, I didn't criticize Romney on everything. There are a couple issues that he disliked and I disagreed on. Number one, he obviously now agrees with me. Now he's saying more than anyone else, because the Republicans are kind of shrinking from this, especially McConnell and Ryan. Now Mitt Romney's saying, why doesn't he show us his tax returns?
I mean, we're about to get the hook here. I want to just ask you about your concerns about Hillary Clinton's numbers right now. She is struggling. Why do you think, what does she need to do?
But man, no, you listen to me. You keep going back to your numbers. Your numbers are not fair. They're not reliable.
Well, what does she need to do differently heading into the fall?
She's doing a good job. She's doing an excellent job. I admire her very, very much. She's a person who will be, as most everyone says, including President Obama yesterday, the most qualified person to ever run for president. That's a pretty good backdrop for her. And people are beginning to learn that more and more every day. And I don't buy your silliness with your $500 polls you go out and buy overnight. I don't believe them. They're not right. They're incorrect. You only do it to generate some news. Donald Trump is a fraud.
Senator, we spent a little bit more on polls than $500, but thank you for talking with us.